here with Boxy being able to hit a good shards, only blocking in AUI, and he gets away with the Glimmer Cape. So Tundra managed to disengage okay.
Tundra has a pretty deep aggressive ward here, watching all of Liquid. Can't really commit forward for a play though. Skeeter actually committing. This is early. I think this is one of the earliest overwhelming blinks I've seen on a carry.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
There was a period of time, who was it? There was a patch or two ago where we saw some overwhelming blinks on some other heroes, but it's been a while since Wraith game. I guess it kind of fits the hero. You get the higher, first hit damage.
Yeah.
In general, want to be able to slow people down when you jump.
Sniper, no BKB, right? He's going for pure glass cannon, so I mean, if you do get the initial slow, okay, I mean, we'll see if it pays off for Skitter. Zai, incredibly tanky. They're just going to throw the black hole on him.
Yeah, screw it. Take this guy out of the fight.
Nisha.
And Nisha, forced to use the BKB, is going to go for the kill onto Snaking. Yeah, he's getting shredded, but he did manage to force staff himself get out.
He just started hitting Skitter instead of hitting Snake. Snake gets away.
Yeah, that was a little awkward. I think maybe he thought Mickey was going to be able to finish him off by himself. Decrepify goes off last second there. Meanwhile, Boxy was somewhere in the mix there.
Okay.
Dies to AUI.
Nice punish. Good usage of the black hole. Well worth it. Just keep throwing that onto Zai if he's going to try to act like that frontliner. How's the itemization looking for 33-2? Still not quite a BKB. He's gone for all these smaller items in between.
Yeah, that makes, you don't have to hit the big black hole when you go this sort of build too, right? When you go this much utility, if you just take one hero out, then you still are a huge presence with all your items.
And then the eventual BKB, it's going to be good, especially if he's able to kind of angle it and get it onto Zai. Because Zai, he's also not really gone for, he hasn't been really focusing onto this Enigma whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. Back and forth we go.
Mickey, recognizing that, you know what, no matter, eventually you're gonna have to get that BKB with the Rolling Thunder jumping on you. If he gets up by the Rolling Thunder, then Snaking follows that up. You gotta have some magic immunity.
Yeah, it doesn't want to just kill himself either versus like this Blade Mail and all that that's gonna be jumping into him. Just so many different ways for them to get on top of him. So yeah.
I like how AUI, I feel like I've noticed him doing this more often than anybody else. He just, as one person, he's like, one tanky person, come with me to the Tormentor, I'll do all the damage. I mean, just one more reason Enchantress feels so good right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's always been an AoE hero as well, too.
Yeah, true.
One of his absolute favorites. Used to play, back in the day when, we used to play together, he'd always ask for it as carry. And we'd be like, oh, damn it, we're going to have a stats impetus Enchantress in our safe lane. It would work, though. I mean, this man has always made stuff like that work. And he's going a very greedy route as well, too. He actually has bailed an Orchid now afterwards. So once these BKBs start to tick out, Nisha's down to 7 already, too. Even versus Pugna as well. Now they have an extra little form to stop the life drains, perhaps, in the fight. So cool answer there if it does end up working.
Another BKB in the mix. Skeeter going to build towards his, so... This is going to get messy. I mean, we said that Liquid scales, but at the same time, you're going to have 33 going back for a BKB. You've got AUI scaling really, really well as this Enchantress.
I mean, they both do.
That clear cut.
Yeah, they both absolutely do. And it's going to have to be, depending on lots of spell casting, too. Like, I'm still waiting to see which... 33 switched it up again, by the way. He bought Boots of Travel, now he's queuing up Hex, so... Okay. Constant shuffling of these items just to try to see which dynamic he really wants to go versus this Doom.
Oh, with how bold Nisha has been on some of his jumps, that might be a big punish. Tier 2, pretty much taken down to nothing because of those Eidolons and Skeletons.
Snaking thinking about finishing it off. Does he commit? Oh, he just goes for the creep wave. All right, fine, sensible.
Ooh.
Liquid, timing being hit here for anything level 18, Storm, BKBs are finished on the Sniper right now, looking to still gather together. Play around the bottom side. There's a ward though, so it is going to see Nisha. It sees Liquid setting up on bottom. Tundra, they're making the move. Snae's in.
Snae wants to be able to toss this Pugna back into his team. Orchid before he can get it off.
Here comes 9.
A return Orchid from AUI with 9. Immediately targeting this Pugna. A great pickoff. And the Rolling Thunder, the hits too on the way in. Nisha almost died immediately from that crit. Stays alive off the BKB, but he doesn't have much to work with. He has to TP out, cancels it, sticks around, but he needs the Pugna to give him the refresh. 9 is going to be shot down by the Sniper. They have to get on top of Mickey soon, but Zai is drawing so much attention that it is giving Mickey the space to do some damage. Tundra's not certain whether or not they should go for it or back away.
I think they got afraid because Nisha disappears for a second and Insania bought back. So they're like, okay, Storm's back up to full more than likely. And they're absolutely right with that, though. So they'll give respect to that buyback from Insania. We've seen that Orchid already coming into play, though, from AY. Always do love these extra little tiny bits of disable when you're playing versus Pugna. Perhaps another reason why we're seeing the Tiny kind of come to fruition. That avalanche kind of coverage in an area can always be nice versus Life Drain.
Yeah. And now the BKB for Skeeter.
Okay.
So both carries online with that.
And Skeeter is...
Not magic immunity anymore. What is it?
Debuff immunity.
Debuff immunity.
Skeeter, I mean, we're definitely seeing his build. It's really cool. I mean, his inventory, it looks like kind of a little slightly wonky because it's like
little
blade mail
eclectic.
over. Yeah, it's just strange, but it's definitely paying off for him. I mean, even this overwhelming blink, it's causing a big burst that Nisha almost gets one-shotted from the crit that comes out from it.
Does mean that he is like early 6 slotted because of the blade mail, so he'll have to start doing a little bit of like weird gold efficiency where he has to like sell that and get it. Mickey caught. Oh, the snowball. Can they get him out, though? It is going to be so tough. Immediately,
he gets out.
It's going to be used. He managed to force staff himself away. Nisha and Boxy saved Mickey's life, and nobody dies for it, at least not yet. Skeeter, he's going to try and catch up to one of these supports. He'll jump onto Insania, and Insania will be the victim of all this.
He's gone for a long time, too. Roche is up. That's a window for Tundra.
He fought back to heal up Nisha in that last fight, right?
Skeeter, I mean, Shield Rune glimmered in, just gets the... I think he even gets hit, but the Shield Rune blocks it, so he gets the blink off, gets on Mickey. Mickey actually, I feel like he's pretty lucky to get out of that situation.
Extremely lucky, yeah.
He's like on the edge of the black hole. Just gets insta-canceled.
Yeah, it was double force staff from Boxy and Mickey himself, force staffing himself. But Tundra, they'll get the second Roshan of the game.
I mean, they're making this Wraith King look quite good. It is a Skeeter special, of course, but... he's really doing...
Give the Aegis to 9, so now you've got 2 carries with 2 lives on the front lines. That's pretty difficult to deal with.
They got blessed with their neutral items, too. I actually didn't realize that from earlier.
Yeah,
they both have Divine Shells.
Oh,
kind of the dream, even for a Wraith King. They hit you back at melee range, you're just going to hit them right back just as hard.
An Ogre Seal Totem for 33, so a little extra mobility on a blinkless Enigma.
And I'm glad, I was literally going to say, like, right after that last fight, too, I think it's consecutive times now he keeps getting Orchids. He keeps, like, shuffling between the items, but BKB, sure, there's going to be the Doom answer and stuff like that, but he doesn't want Nisha to just freely be able to cancel like he has been, so
yeah,
I don't blame him if he does now. Go for this BKB.
And it'll just make it even harder for Zai to frontline like that if he's the answer to the black hole, but he's the one constantly being black hole. BKB, TP out.
He gets out.
Gauge from Zai in a dangerous point because Tundra, any pickoff like that could probably lead to them pushing high ground.
4K lead, Aegis and Cheese. I think they still might want to try to like pry some pressure here. Maybe not go toward the high ground so much, but maybe get a catch.
Yeah, they definitely need a catch because otherwise they're pushing into a high ground sniper. That's never fun.
It's still going to be difficult for them to ever like close the game out because of that, you know, just having that high ground sniper. It's a lot about like getting these kills opportunities. I mean, Brian also mentioned his wait a second
pick on Snake King. Thanks in part to the gem from Boxy. They'll spot the man and get him and get out real quickly here. Tundra actually didn't move.
No.
He stayed in that top half of the map there, and I thought maybe Liquid was going to run into him.
Ooh, he's able to get himself away. And yeah, I was mentioning Brian, he actually mentioned a certain very important timing this game, because the Doom, Wraith King is an answer to the Doom, right? And Brian was saying a lot about how the 5th item, in particular for the Doom, it's going to come out eventually this game. If Liquid plays good, plays calm and careful with this sniper kind of lineup, it's the Agnums. And that's not only just an answer for the Wraith King, where's that reincarnate stuff, it's an also answer versus the BKB Doom. So I would be surprised if I don't see Zai kind of queue that one up next. Or maybe he buys like a boot to travel in between or something like that. But
yeah, and if he casts it beforehand, then even the black hole, you'll rotate into the Enigma. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great answer for a lot of reasons.
And eventually will likely come out unless Tundra's able to find some big hits here in these next few moments.
Which is where maybe the 3rd Roshan could be very important, right? If it ends up being an Aghanim Scepter, both sides could definitely use it.
How much time left? I mean, Tundra definitely have a window here to be able to punish before any of that does come out. Nisha.
Small zip, big zip, he's out.
Okay, Nisha has a regen to work with here. Finds himself Timeless Relic. Which of these neutral items besides that? Skeeter finds himself a Ninja Gear. Really good item for him to just be doing what he wants to do and sneak around. Same thing for 33, so lots of positioning items coming out here for the side of Tundra. And there's the BKB now for 33.
Finally picks it up. And Nullifier's going to be a nuisance for Mickey. Skeeter
Yeah, he got
an answer to all this mobility.
Yeah, I think his blade mail is still pretty effective, to be quite honest with you. Maybe didn't reflect the most damage, but he did deter heroes from hitting him, which probably let him just chase forward and get some extra kills. And speaking of kills, you get Boxy. Could be a big one if they can. It's the gem.
Or Saf trying to get away. Shard pushed them a little bit further, but there's just too many Tundra heroes, too quick to pounce, and immediately up into the high ground. Fortunately, the sniper is here to repel them right away, so they don't get any fast damage on the tower.
No. And immediately they start, Nisha just starts shoving top with his regen. Yeah, okay, he's able to keep that base defended.
And it was kind of pointed out there by our lovely observers. Liquid are going to be playing quite the rat game here with four different of those smokes.
Oh, they also took 4 Ninja Gears. How many did Tundra take? I think they took
Just
at least 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Theirs, I think, are more for positioning of team fights in particular.
Yeah.
And, you know, Skitter sneaking into the back lines there while Liquid's is, doing the rat. Get that time bought for the sniper to outscale. Still some time on the Aegis. Snaking, is he going to be able to do some nice toss-back plays? This could just blow it open for them if they can.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not easy always, though.
Especially since some heroes have to show with the Eidolons and Skeletons pushing in. The problem is, most of the time it's the sniper showing. He's so far back.
Did they get themselves a I'm clicking around. Did they get a telescope or anything? No, like you said, Liquid, they got 4 Ninja Gears. So no telescope for them, though, for the sniper to position himself. Well, I believe AY, he did get a telescope, so... A little bit of range stuff, of course.
The final 2 for a Spell Prism is picked up for snaking. They're going to give him the gem, and he's going to front line here. Zion going to be caught by the stun before he gets off the BKB.
Black hole for it.
Oh, he got it in the range.
Do they save him?
Snowball attempted, but he couldn't get close enough, sadly. The rotation of the black hole pulls him out of range, and they're going to lose Boxy as well on top of that. And Nine
is in.
Yeah, he's going in deep.
His
That
Aegis
is a little
is
dangerous. There's that Heaven's Halberd, though. That's going to help out a lot when he rolls towards that sniper. Lucian Rune to be able to get that extra, be able to...
Boxy's too deep.
Boxy buys back, snowballs after him, hoping to get that fast catch. Nice reaction there with Hurricane Pike. Snaking almost got the toss back on the sniper.
That was honestly split second there from Mickey. Perhaps he's getting killed. Nice little force. Snay also now level 20, so he's got the toss no target. This actually allows him to go for these toss back plays easier. Now he's going to start the push. 2 pretty huge kills. They get Boxy on the buyback. Okay.
He's going to try and break him.
He is far up.
That is dangerous, and the nullifier is going to cause him issues. Pops the BKB, trying to get some distance, and it looks like he is away safely. Close call, though, and Tundra get plenty of time to hit this building now.
Oh, cool. I actually have never noticed that before in these games. The Enigma Shard still spawns the Eidolons even when they're debuff immune. I just saw they just like popped up in the base. Nisha is going to go for cutting the wave. Axe is getting hit, though.
And it's going to be a bit until that backdoor protection comes back up.
And a glyph for it. The next creep wave is coming. It has to be so far back here to take out that ward, and Tundra go back up with that. Good aggressive plays there from Tundra.
Yeah, forcing some mistakes, I guess you could kind of call it, from Liquid. I mean, just kind of forced errors, I guess. And capitalizing pretty quickly. And once again, they're going to try and take double Tormentors.
I like to see how 33 is just very liberal with using the black hole. Some of them have been, you know, they're kind of like little, like 1 second black hole and stuff like that. But, you know, you can see what he's trying to do with it. Just getting Zai, just throwing it whenever he can.
Just on the edge there. Beautifully done by 33. And Boxy, unfortunately, not able to get close enough with the snowball. That just results in a whole lot of hurt for Team Liquid.
That looks like he's trying to find himself some forms of protection, at least versus some of the stuns and stuff like that to set him up. He's going to have a Lincoln's.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see if that helps him. In level 25, that'll also help quite a bit, but it's looking like Tundra is just going to get a big old lead here, and I'm not sure, like, yeah, the sniper feels like the best carry in this game, but nobody else from Team Liquid is really keeping up on the slack here.
No, Nisha is just constantly getting picked off, really.
Yeah. He certainly hasn't scaled into the monster that we tend to see out of him.
Yeah, maybe not getting picked off, but he's just over-zipping a lot of the times, too. Tundra claiming this area here, still DD on Skitter. And his itemization, yeah, looks, even if he sells the armlet, has AC, like the progress is still good for this like 6th slot. Keeping themselves at the ready for this push. Like the wraparound, though, Liquid.
Once again, trying to get these pickoffs.
Snake King sees him.
They see him. He pops the BKB and he turns, lays into Snake King, but I think he realizes, I don't know, this is looking good, Mickey. Knight's going to chase after him.
What a black hole.
The black hole with the storm sifting to it as well.
Oh my.
What happened to Liquid?
33 happened. Some of these black holes are perfect. The push, now they've got it. With these kills, should be able to get themselves probably even just 2 sets, maybe more.
Yeah, I think this is one of those, like, wholesale, just take everything they got for him. Let's see what Tundra decide to do here. They are going to go through the barracks and not try and hit tier 4s. It's so dangerous against Sniper.
I mean, Snake King glimmered up, looking for the grab. This could just be Megas. Insania. Nikkei, can they hold? They're going to have to use buybacks to attempt to hold here.
Buyback going to be used. Got the pick off on 9 right as he was trying to roll away there with the swashbuckle. Coming up again. Attempt to Doom. Going to be used on the Wraith King while they go for the others here. An interesting idea, I guess, to be able to kite out the Wraith King and just clean up everybody else. Mickey aggressively force-staffing, but it's not like this Wraith King is without damage. Gotta be careful as Zai gets a little bit too close to him. The lightning actually zipping over and does bring down the first life here of the Wraith King. Liquid getting a relatively clean engagement, but not enough to give them any sort of advantage.
No, and it's incredibly expensive, and they did end up still losing those 2 racks. I mean, Nikkei, I don't blame him. He's got the rapier queued up already at this point.
Yeah, he kind of needs it.
He's not doing enough damage to bring these targets down quickly. I feel like he needs it. Yeah, Liquid, they're just like, okay, we kind of have to just catch him off guard. Black Hole is causing too many issues. 33 is dead.
And Roshan's up as well,
They
so.
have to. Yeah, it looks like
They're gonna go to
gate.
bottom and go to gate, yeah.
I guess that's the call. Look at Tundra, I mean, they're already prepped in the area for it. Moving quickly, 30 seconds. Enigma's gonna be back. He's got the bots to be able to join in instantly too. Can they kill it fast enough, or are they gonna, maybe they're gonna hunt for heroes. Okay, Liquid, see if this approach works.
I mean, they do kind of need those pickoffs. They are playing with less heroes right now. Tundra gonna be able to work off of a lot of buybacks.
Snake's giving so much info. Who do they find?
9, that's a great pickoff if they can get it, and they will.
He's got buyback.
He does, and that's why Liquid are going to start resetting here. Boxy, uh-oh, he's got here. Oh, he did have enough space to get over the bridge, and Sania guards him from a lot of that damage.
He almost got trapped from Skeleton.
Yeah, that was real scary.
Still playing in the area for the jump. They're playing around their ward. Skitter sneaking in. Nisha's in.
Staking, trying to de-ward, is going to be targeted immediately. The snowball goes through. Boxy once again in deep off that one, but great to Crepify. Bad shard. That gets him killed anyway, perhaps. No, gets another 4-staff over the cliff of ultimately, and Tundra not able to grab him on his way out.
Liquid, though, I used the Doom onto the Wraith King.
Oh, no.
Tundra's just going to be able to look for this fight here, or maybe just go into the Roche.
Yeah, they're feeling good about it. They keep on putting Snaky on that front lines, daring Liquid to jump forward. He actually gets the jump on his eye, tosses him back, straight up in. BKB nullifier, both going to be used. Immediately, Orchid on Orchid between Nisha and AUI, while Snaking trying to keep the distance.
I mean, both teams just being a little bit careful here, don't want to commit in. The vision advantage is here for Liquid. Tundra, they're giving that respect to it. Level 25 hit for Mickey. He pretty much has the gold for Rapier.
You kind of need that all-in play because Snaking is eventually going to get the toss back that secures the team fight. It's coming.
And he's not killing heroes fast enough. Like, he has 6 seconds of the BKB for him to really just at least kill one person on the focus fire, and they're tanky now on Tundra.
Yeah, and when like you have this Pango rolling at you and you're not certain, do I hit him or do I run away? He just has to be able to sit there and kill that Pango, make him a non-factor.
You need the glass cannon. Yeah, he's committed. He bought the relic, he bought that Demon Edge. He's got him locked for now, but he'll unlock when it gets to him, I'd imagine, or when the fight kicks off.
And Tundra will take this space to be able to get the third Roshan of the game.
And it's a big one with that refresher shard, of course. Who are they going to give it to? You can give it to 33. I hope, at least, with the Black Holes, the great delivery he's been able to do with it. Some of them funny, but most of them just having that effect, of course. Yeah, now he's got 2 of them. 2 full salvos of it. 2 full BKBs as well. Fight's just got ever more complicated for Liquid.
There's still going to be a question of what Tundra, like, how do they approach this high ground push? But they have all the advantage in the world. Should be confident in doing so. I'm just curious what they're going to do. Like, they're going to try and smoke through one of these other 2 lanes that are empty?
That's what I'm
going to wait for a pickoff.
Because I'm looking at the mid lane. That's the first thing that I was thinking. I was like, there's no sentries right now in mid. No ops set up here for the side of Liquid. So definitely potential for Tundra to sneak in. If they see the sniper, he's very likely just dead.
mean, with a refresher on Skeeter, they may even have enough lives just to throw their bodies into Megas. I doubt that's what they'll do. Tundra's always a bit craftier than that.
He's saving the buyback for now. He hasn't full committed just yet for it.
Yeah.
25 now, also being hit on 9.
Successful scan.
Whoop.
They're going to spot Boxy. That is a pretty good pickoff considering the saves he's been able to pull off with the Blink Snowball.
Nice
so
flush.
that might just be enough to signal Tundra hit that high ground, maybe force the buyback out of him.
Liquid at the ready here. Insania buying himself just a casual Vlad's, something we used to, like old school kind of thing here to buff up your sniper as much as possible.
He said they needed more damage.
They need every little bit they can.
More %.
Yeah. Tundra looking to sneak in here. The Aghanim's still not finished for Zai. Snaking.
Breaks. He's going to jump. He jumps forward. Doesn't get
Instant
die.
Hex.
Zai gets a BKB. Great Hex going off. They're immediately going to use the Doom on this Wraith King again and then focus on the other heroes. 9 is going to be target, but he managed to blink away. No damage put on him.
They force a buyback from Boxy there. And it's a Rolling Thunder, but it's going to be back up shortly.
Yeah, that was great. Got Doom out. Got the buyback out of him.
They'll back it up. They're like, all right, we'll wait for our Rolling Thunder. Tundra. So gonna find themselves another Wisdom Rune. I mean, they're continuing to get this big scaling. AUI, he's now claimed number 3 on the net worth on the Enchantress.
Damn, man. How does he do it,
How
Curtis?
does he do this?
This guy's a monster.
What's his damage numbers this game, actually? I mean, he's quietly, of course, always dishing out quite a bit here, but I can imagine it's nowhere near Skitter. Yeah, those two are always going to be the big highlights here in this game.
What are you going to do when AUI 2000 comes out of his coaching spot, come play, and runs up to your high ground with a BKB and starts throwing impetuses at you?
It's a good question. I mean, he's always going to be playing something pesky, it seems. I think the games that I've gotten at least to cast from Tundra, he played a Visage cutting some creep waves, and now he's playing this annoying Enchantress. So, I mean, typical Curtis. Smoke out from Liquid. Full Aghanims. So Zai, he sells his Midas. He's committed for this next fight. The Lincolns, it's out for 33, but there's the answer for Zai, of course. He's got the Zags.
Okay. Zai, his jump is going to be so important, which is awkward because they also want him to be the front line. So being able to have the vision is so important. They get something here. They spot the 2 supports, and this AoE Doom is beginning to work. Both the supports are going to be back. But Mickey, what about him? They didn't protect him well enough. Boxy's going to die here. Decrepify bought Mickey a little bit of time, but he's going to have to buy back and go for his Divine Rapier. A second Black Hole doesn't have anything, though. Meanwhile, 9 is going to be caught by Nisha, pulling back in. See if they can finish him off. If they can finish him off, maybe they can reclaim that Divine Rapier, but it looks like Tundra is being able to get away with it.
I'm just watching Skeeter. I want to see the big hit. Who's he going to go for?
Blinks in, goes for
2K.
it. Big damage on Zai, and they'll tear him apart.
That level 25 double mortal strike out. No Doom, 120. Mickey now, he tickles.
Yeah, with all of your damage gone, Tundra, they're going to be able to bulldoze through your buildings. No problem here. Wait out the glyph.
Whoop.
Take out the Aegis there from Nisha. Something small, but don't think 9 minds too much.
Look how fast these racks drop. Skitter, bring it down, no problem. Mickey, stutter stepping back and forth.
And Tundra, I don't think they're going to give you the space to play up against Megas. They're going to end it here. And Nisha's going to have to do something amazing with these zips back and forth. Insania, he's going to have to cover Mickey here, but the nullifier's been put on him. Decrepify can't do that much for him. The Scythe, all the disables aren't enough. There is too much damage from too many heroes on the side of Tundra, and they'll get the dieback on Mickey, and they will take the throne. Game 1 is all Tundra. After about, it felt like, what, 30 minutes in? It felt like they just kind of took over the game.
Yeah, Liquid with them. I mean, some overextensions in some of their fights, but overall, Tundra playing really clean with the Aegis, the decisions that they go for these fights, the little mini black holes and stuff like that from 33. And I'm personally going to give probably the most credit to Skeeter, because the hero we don't get to see too much, and he really owned 16, 3, and 14. His build, it was a little bit different going for like Blade Mail and Overwhelming Blink, but absolutely can see why he goes for it versus this Sniper. He's tanky, does tons of damage, he puts a lot of pressure onto Liquid, and it's exactly what I felt from Liquid in a lot of these fights, this pressure of them being like, these fights are hard because this Wraith King just gets on top of them.
Yeah, I think that Liquid thought they were going to have an easier time playing with this, you know, like, okay, the Doom Midas is going to kick in. We've got a sniper. It's going to be hard for them to get on top of him. I think they thought they were going to be able to play this 30 to 45-minute game pretty cleanly, but no, Tundra up in their faces constantly, made all those team fights work really well.
And they beat the Pugna Storm.
And they beat the Pugna Storm, a combo that has looked broken throughout this tournament, but Tundra do manage to dismantle it nicely. Let's head back to the panel, though, because a lot to talk about in this series with Tundra finding the upset in Game 1.
Not only did they dismantle it, but they dismantled it off the back of a Wraith King of all heroes. That's just the nerds that we've come to love these current Aegis holders of, as Tundra claim game number 1 over Team Liquid. Misery, it seems like there was a variety of experiments being run here. One being, how do we beat Enigma? This is Liquid's wondering, like, okay, we give first phase Enigma to 33. Let's do Sniper. Let's see what Sniper's capable of. And then Tundra's experiment is like, okay, we knew that you were going to worry about our Enigma. This is how we're going to counter all of that. I don't really know if Wraith King was the main ingredient, but it definitely helped out.
I think for me, the main thing is the use of Twin Gate early on, right? And that's probably why it's hard to... Like, I think Team Liquid maybe didn't take that into account, or at least they underestimated how powerful the Twin Gate is early on. Like, you bring Enchantress there, you bring Wraith King in there, and suddenly this sniper who's supposed to counter Enigma in lane, right? And get you off to a really good, like, winning 3-lane situation, you know, that just gets dismantled, just like that. And then suddenly the Wraith King and the Tiny, who we talked about earlier, having kind of a rough first 5-10 minutes, you know, they get through that rough patch, you could say. And then suddenly the sniper doesn't look that impressive. But I do think that a lot of the fighting going on around bot lane mid game was the make or break, like the first Roshan. Like this type of time in the game is the most crucial one. Like this, no, not this one, but the one where Storm chased there and they lost a bunch of heroes. I think that was like a very game breaking moment. But yeah, I think you could also imagine a scenario where Tundra doesn't use Twin Gate early on, and then the sniper just gets to sit top, and then suddenly Liquid win 3 lanes, right? But yeah, now you have this extra mechanic in the game of Twin Gate that, you know, you also have to take into consideration. We talked about in the break how maybe you could have a ward on the Twin Gate, but I don't know if that necessarily it will maybe prevent you from dying, but your tower is still going to go down, right? You're still going to be under a lot of pressure. So
yeah, it's a situation that I think Liquid, you had mentioned they could have won all 3 lanes. I could see it in their mid-game execution, like 10 to 18 minutes or so, where they were overly chasing. Like, they looked like they felt pressured, they felt forced to do things, and I think it was because of those top deaths on Sniper. I think, like, there's always a degree of this vision each team has of what they're content with the map looking like, and instead of Sniper just taking that entire area by himself, something we've seen a lot from like a Morphling. That's a lot of how the Morphlings play, is they just sit up there farming for a while, nobody needs to help them. But suddenly Liquid, they felt like they were pulled up top a few times to try to save Mickey, it didn't work, and then suddenly it looks like they're overextending bottom, and Tundra, I think the later this game goes, their lineup's going to be favored, so I mean, I didn't even factor in Aoi being 3rd on the network. That was pretty wild.
Sure. I mean, one more thing, I think that another thing when you pick a hero like Sniper is that it's not played by many teams. Maybe they have a couple of sprints with it, right? But realistically, there's not much data around this hero right now, and I think it's hard to know really what his timings are. Like, when is he really strong, right? When does he feel good about going to hit a tier 2 tower or, like, you know, take over the map, right? A lot of the other carries we see being played, like the Morphling or the Medusa, they have very clear timings. You have the Butterfly Medusa, if the Aghanim's Morphling, then you smoke, then you're super strong, right? Then you win a fight, you get Roshan. Here, it's kind of like, yeah, you have a Mom, Maelstrom, Sniper, like, you know, how strong are you really? And you still have to be careful because you're basically made of paper, right? So you can still die so easily. So I do think that Liquid was put themselves in a little tough spot just by picking this hero, right? Because it's harder to play than the traditional normal carries that we see getting spammed.
I mean, to go back to your point, I feel like the sniper is only as strong as your team. Like, maybe it would be better for the Doom to actually go for like less greedy items and play for the timing, because like what Brian said, you know, gonna just get harder the longer the game goes against this Enigma. So you have to try to fight at a very, very sharp timing in the mid game. Ideally, like around 20-25 minutes, you need to win a big fight. You get Roshan, and then you try to take control of the map and slowly eat your way up the high ground.
This is what we talked about. Timing-based lineups have such a small margin for error. And when it goes to 52 minutes and 52 seconds, it seems like Tundra were inevitably favored. And Tundra were also having a good time during that game, because we actually got a chance to do a little mic check with them.
I'm coming. No TP on him, he's dead.
I'm also taking a gate. I'm TPing to you guys. Good fight, good fight, good fight. Pagan's still alive, guys.
I'll kill him, that's fine.
Look at this guy, I will slow him, Snake.
You can only do Tuskar. You can go sniper as well, guys.
I'm looking at sniper.
I'll help him behind.
Sniper disarmed.
I'm helping, go back and help.
Look at me, guys.
We can chase them, we can chase them, we can chase them. I can jump the Pugna in 2 seconds, keep going.
I have a sentry.
I'm rolling.
He's not dead yet.
I'm looking at more here. Tower?
Easy, 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 guys, easy, easy. Very nice.
Doom behind, doom behind.
I'm coming.
Chilling. Reset.
Chilling.
Base is getting fucked. If you do nothing.
A lot of chilling.
I think this team's comms are always interesting when we've gotten to hear them. They don't say too much, but they have a lot of like catchphrases.
Yes,
you know?
they do.
They know exactly what that one word means. That's what I love about Dota as a whole. Is it's not just about being efficient, being fast with your decision making in games. When I talk to tier 1 players, like the way they describe concepts, they'll have like one word or like a 3-word sentence that just means so much. But as long as they're on the same page.
I think it's a habit, like all the teams that develop. Like when you want to talk in 2 seconds, you have to be able to convey the message quickly. And when everybody's talking too much, it becomes very, very hard to play.
Exactly. But you hear so many people talking there, but they're all saying like one word.
Yeah.
So they all, it's very clear like what they're intending in the short amount of time they're speaking.
Yeah, I actually had meetings with my players before. Like we tend to like look at the game and we try to describe a situation and we try to figure out like 1 or 2 words to let everybody know what we should do. And we try to be creative about it so it's easy for everybody to understand.
Yeah, I'll say one big difference in that comms from what I'm used to is in the case of 33, he's like, Doom, I have Doom in the back. With Jenkins, it's, get that guy.
You're still doing as a coach? Go back into the seat. I think you still got it.
Nah, man. I'm too old for that stuff.
Too old? I don't buy that for a second. I mean, you can play supports.
Yeah, I mean, I probably could, but I'm very fine with coaching. But I mean, that was very impressive though by AY. Like we were talking about during the game. Like we were talking about how he's probably like at like 50 minutes sitting there last hitting with his 2 creeps, you know, on the side lanes, microing.
Top 3 net worth on his team as an Enchantress.
I mean, right after we saw that, we looked at the mini-map, and one of his creeps is killing a jungle camp, and the other one's killing a lane. Or like, he said he's one of the few players, he feels like it's underutilized, the Enchantress shard that gives you 2 creeps now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, obviously when you're winning the game a lot, right, there's a lot of space on the map, and Encha's going to be able to take it. He also got a bunch of kills, he didn't die at all, really, until the end there, but I think what was more impressive was at 20 minutes or whatever, you know, mid-game, he had like the same net worth as Enigma, you know, so he was farmed even at that point, right? So yeah, that says a lot. Like, he played really well that game. He was really fired up.
And on the topic of the Enigma Winter, what's the plan for Liquid in this game? Because I thought that this was going to be all about Morphling, because every single game this tournament is all about the Morphling. In this series, I feel like Enigma may be the hero of the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to deal with. Right now, I'm thinking on top of my mind, like, what can I do? You know, he's going to deny, he's going to pull the wave back. There's nothing I can do to counter that. And the supports are going to come through the twin gate and gank my carry. So the first thing that I would think of is I need like some hero that can sit in the lane, like some life stealer, some juggernaut kind of carry that can sit there. But those heroes are kind of bad, you know. The carry heroes right now that are good are all heroes that need the support there. You need to have the lane close to your tower so you don't die. And Enigma just doesn't allow that to happen.
I know that was like your initial theory when 7.33 first dropped, Brian. It's like, why are all these carries that I'm seeing right now so popular? Which were all like the melee carries that did not care about getting rotated on. And I feel like twin gate rotations have kind of died off over the past like 2 weeks, but with Enigma making a resurgence, you're starting to see the viability.
I mean, I love how the circle of life, the circle of the Dota life, the meta, it's like something stops becoming popular because why? All these players are picking the carries like Slark, Jug, that are hard to gank, and then people are like, well, Now we can counter those heroes with something like Enigma because he's got this single target BKB or like a BKB piercing stun that there's no itemization around. And then, okay, now we need to start picking a hero like Sniper or Drow to deal with Morphling or to deal with this Enigma. And wait a minute, we can just twin gate gank them.
Yeah, we're back to square one.
Yeah, exactly. And and then about a week later, we'll be back to playing Slark and Jug every game.
I mean, I think what you brought up could actually be a thing. You just need to give the ops to the Sniper. I mean, I feel like maybe it could help a little bit, but ideally you draft a carry that you only need a couple of levels, then you can just go jungle.
I think against Enigma, there's enough games now that we've seen, there's enough of a sample size to basically guarantee your tower is going to go down. So even though you have a sniper and you did intend to like slow down the Enigma's progress, I think allowing him to just take that tower and having that ward to keep you alive. I mean, a lot of the Morphlings we've seen, they end up just farming underneath their tier 2 tower. And as sniper, I know how Mickey probably feels. Like, you think you're supposed to be able to defend that tower. So he wants to linger around that area because not only is it about defending the tower, but if you're in that area, then if your team sees an opportunity to rotate to you, then they can. So you're kind of like setting them up for potential openings. But I mean, those 2 deaths, it's hard to avoid a sniper, so it's not like we're just trying to pin it all on Mickey or anything. But it definitely stunted Liquid's timings, which they seem to heavily rely on in all their games.
Yeah, how about this? You just need to identify at one point that you have to swap lanes with your mid laner. Your mid laner has 6, and you just have to ask him.
With Storm though, right?
Yeah, you just have to ask him to go to the Animus lane to take your lane, and you go to the mid lane. Maybe that will work.
Maybe with like a Pango, like a different. They need like a different mid because certain mids are way better at.
Maybe if you have a Primal, you could do that.
Oh yeah, Primal. Yeah, Primal would work too. It's basically some guy that doesn't mind getting initiated onto because Storm wants to be rotating to somebody else who's setting him up for it. They actually banned the Enigma.
Yeah,
here, so they're done.
I mean, it's kind of hard to figure out what to do in a short bit of time. Banning is just the easy fix for now.
Yeah, that you guys said they had something in mind. They knew Tundra were likely to pick Enigma since it's rising in popularity, and they have 33, and didn't work. Back to the drawing board. Maybe for next time they play them, if they do collide again, they'll have a different answer.
Also, one thing worth mentioning, you'll notice that the 2 teams have different reserve time as a result of the Tundra Bet Boom series. Tundra does have a level 1 draft penalty for this series, so 30 seconds less reserve time.
I mean, didn't seem to bother them.
No, they came in with that Enigma strategy and they knew exactly what they needed. Who needs reserve time to pick Wraith King?
Yeah, I mean, 30 seconds, it doesn't really matter that much, I think.
The level 3 draft penalty where you have 0 reserve time, now that's a big difference.
I think it matters a lot if you're playing a lot of games on the same day, but if you're given like time to prepare for the series, it doesn't really matter much.
That's true.
Yeah, you won't use really any of it in the opening, right? Because most of these teams, I mean, Misery, you even talked about last game how difficult it is to construct a good opening. I wanted to go off of that earlier and say I'm amazed at how many drafts I feel are lost in the first like 4 picks.
Yeah. I mean, the first phase is insanely important right now, and you see Tundra just opting for the duo off, right? They found something with this Tiny that they like a lot, so now instead of picking the Enigma, they just go with the Visage. Similar concept, right? Decently strong laner. I mean, definitely a hero that you cannot just pick whatever you want against it, right? You have to consider the fact that when he gets 6, he's going to take your tower, right? He's also, very good with Tiny, like enabling this hero to, to get levels.
How convinced are you that it is an offlane Visage, though? Because 33 actually has not played at this tournament. It's generally been AUI.
I would say, considering we saw Enigma Tiny last game, I would say this is just a replacement for Enigma.
Okay.
I don't know. They could do some shenanigans later on in the draft. Maybe that is an option that they understand is there. But I think I'm pretty confident it's just 33 playing it.
Okay.
So they go with Bloodseeker.
A lot of teams I think would go Naga here. But I was gonna say I don't think I've seen Mickey ever play Naga.
Why do you think that they're going Bloodseeker here? Is it just mainly for the lane? I guess
it's for the lane. I think last game they prioritized Pugna Storm because it's like the combo. But then last game they gave Tundra 3 bans to protect their offlane duo. It was like Monkey King, Bloodseeker. Let me see. It was Monkey King, Bloodseeker, Clockwork were the 3 bans last game. So they're now considering how important that top lane was to just kind of dismantling their timing. So I don't mind the Bloodseeker.
But don't you think this is bad? Like when you first pick the Pugna, then you can't actually get the Storm at number 8, and you feel like you're forced to react to their 6 and 7 because of last game. And then whenever I see like Pugna without the Storm, I just don't feel like the game is the same, you know, with the Pugna.
I think Pugna is just a really strong hero right now. You don't necessarily need the Storm. I think he's a really strong laner. He takes the tier 1 towers, right? He has the Crepify that scales. You need to buy Nullifier against this guy, right? You can also, what's underrated about Pugna is you know how you suck the Storm, right? You can do that to other heroes too, to great benefit. So I think they're okay with it. But so the Bloodseeker, I guess he's just gonna be able to sustain through the Visage spam. It does become scary if he starts dying, right? Because like Visage has a lot of burst. But I imagine this is a pretty free lane for Bloodseeker early on.
Yeah, the thing about Bloodseeker, he initially rose into prominence because a lot of the offlaners at the start of 7.33C were universal, and the way they won the lane was just by right-clicking you a bunch of times, and most carries would just lose the war of attrition and eventually get booted out. But the thirst heal from Bloodseeker is what made him such a popular pick. And yeah, Visage has the burst from Soul Assumption, but he is a universal hero now. A lot of people are going like early 1-3 branches into Crown, and this hero hits pretty hard. Like, you're not used to being threatened by heroes like Visage or Wind Ranger in lane in regards to their harass, but it hurts. So the Bloodseeker alleviates that a lot. And going off of what you guys said about Pugna, they've played Pugna 6 times this tournament on Liquid, and they all had a Storm. So this says, like, this shows a lot of respect towards Tundra's opening, that they think they have to respond to it rather than going for what they normally go for.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Tundra, I'm pretty happy, like, with the first phase already, right? Like, I think they got through the hardest part of the drafting. I think the 15 can be hard too, the pick that's coming up right now. But I imagine they're just gonna do the same like structure as they did last game. Pick some kind of AOI hero, right, to play the 5, and then Snake King plays the 4 again. Maybe something that once again can abuse the Twin Gate, right? Because this Bloodseeker is kind of vulnerable early on.
Dying still in the pool if they want something like that for Curtis. His Snapfire has also been.
And then the second pick, Power, comes into play on the 18 and 24, right, where you can really, pick the core matchups in the other lanes.
10 seconds remaining.
But let's see what they can pick for AUI here.
But you want like a hero that can just gank, right? I guess your main concern right now.
Oh, they just go Brood. Okay, so basically they do the AUI on Visage, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then they just 33 Brood.
Is this most likely a 9 Tiny then?
No, I think they would just do double melee.
Okay. Last time they did this, when they did Visage on AUI, they had a Bloodseeker carry, which I thought kind of enabled it because it's one of the few carries that you can have like a really greedy fight.
That's actually a very good.
It doesn't really do anything.
That's a very good
I'm
point.
wondering what they try to do here.
I think there's a bunch of heroes like that Skitter could play. He could play Lifestealer, he could play Wraith King again, and I think that would work perfectly fine, right?
Okay.
But I mean, you even though they changed the draft structure slightly with picking 33 heroes, so they still have shown only those 3 heroes, right?
Essentially, it's the same.
Yeah, it's just a different order, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they did end up putting the Visage support, so there was a little bit of bamboozling going on there.
What are the odds that they thought Team Liquid was going to draft Brood? Like, is that why they had to take it right there?
Possibly, yeah, it could be.
Because like otherwise, you'd think they'd want to hold on to like the surprise Visage support, right?
I mean, not exactly, because you're gonna pick like what are you gonna pick there? I feel like if you don't reveal that, you're gonna have to pick a position 5 hero anyway, so you're gonna lose.
Oh, I guess it's either now or never.
That is why the second pick is difficult, right? And you sometimes need to jump the gun on 15. But yeah, I do think they
Oh, okay, this is a nice one.
Against Bloodseeker though, Meepo can be a bit sus, just because you count as all of your main Meepos count as a hero.
When you stack together, you count as 1, right? So you don't.
That's true, actually.
True.
Yeah,
Meepo is kind of a different type of hero now, right? With that change. Plus he can dig as well. Like that hero actually has a lot more utility to its arsenal than before, right? You were really all in on hoping that you didn't get bursted or like mass AoE'd, right? Now you actually have some tools to play around with. And right now, like, yeah, I don't know. Do they actually have damage to kill Meepo with like 2 items?
Not really.
It's really hard, right? Plus the Broodmother can go pipe and stuff like that. So
their supports are actually very weak against Brood. Against the Meepo, and then the Brood is gonna buy pipe. I imagine you're just gonna buy pipe and support the Meepo. You don't really need to go for like carry items this game.
Who's been playing the Meepo though? It doesn't seem like a Skeeter hero. I imagine 9.
Probably Skeeter?
I feel like
I'm looking him up now. 9 on Dota buff.
no, I mean it could be against Ember. I just feel like actually I don't know. You don't even see the offlane, right?
I mean that's the benefit of having the Aura last pick. You can decide last.
At the minimum, Zai needs to play a hero that can deal with a bunch of garbage on the map. There's going to be spiders, there's going to be familiars, there's going to be a bunch of
It has to be like
Meepos.
some, I think Darkseer Underlord kind of hero. I kind of like Darkseer with like Bloodseeker and Ember against like the Meepo. The Iron Shell is going to stack up, it's going to do a lot. You're going to be able to D-push. I think the D-pushing part is going to be pretty important in this game against the Meepo and Brood.
Yeah, maybe.
If you want to go a little bit out of the box, he also played Pudge and Necro this tournament.
So, we haven't mentioned the Atos Meepo, right?
Not this.
Yeah, that's the build. We looked it up 2 days ago when we saw Parker run Meepo with an Atos. It looks like all the pubs, the Meepos are doing this. So what I thought was really funny when I heard about this was that it sounds like the only reason Meepo is getting played is because there's like 3 or 4 master tier Meepos in the SAA region that are spamming in pubs, and that the players at this major, their exposure to Meepo was that. Like they were just playing pubs here while they were training for the major, and they were just getting Meepo'd by these guys.
Yeah, classic SEA pubs.
So I thought the funniest part about that is that we might have not seen a single Meepo this tournament if this major took place in a different region. I found that to be quite humorous.
Yeah, this is what Gunnar had noticed as he'd been pubbing it up.
Yep, so they do take out the Underlord and Tide. So I wonder what are the other heroes that Liquid are gonna consider. The Necro and the Pudge actually might be okay, but I'm not sure if it'll be good throughout the game. Like I feel like the Darkseer will be more stable throughout.
Yeah. Since you don't have much value after the Iron Shells, right? I mean, you're gonna buy auras, but like the wall is not necessarily that valuable this game. So, and you're also very low on disables. But I do think you need either something that really puts pressure on the lanes or something that scales into big damage, right? So you can actually kill this Meepo.
Yeah, Meepo's only got 500 games on Dota 2 Sword Tracker, but has a 57% win rate.
This guy is a really strong laner. So I don't know if they're gonna put 9 mid now and then pick something that counters the Necrophosen lane.
I managed to find it. 100% 9 playing Meepo. 100%. He's played it 10 times in the last 3 days.
So what carry is good against Necrovos?
5 seconds.
You can go something like Drow if you want, but it's got a Visage, so...
How about Luna? Some magic damage, then you have the Luna plus Visage.
You guys are picking a lot of greedy things when your other cores are Broodmother and Meepo.
I mean, he's got to be a carry. Like, I like you. The thing about the Jug pick that I like banning a lot is
the Brood carry.
Okay.
Or
I feel like 9 is playing Meepo no matter what. Yeah. There's just like, so it's Brood carry, Darkseer offlane. Darkseer absolutely owns Necro in the game. Just because Necro hates having all this crap around him. He wants to be able to stand still and feel good about it, and the wall changes that. But I think Bloodseeker's quite good in lane here versus the Darkseer. So I think Liquid's going to really need that bottom lane to go really well. If they can manage to have like Zai, he loves the Boots of Travels on Necro because that hero lacks map mobility. I don't think they're going to be ever able to just walk down a lane against these heroes. So it's going to be about Liquid outnumbering them on the map and finding spaces where the lack of mobility on the Visage, the Brood doesn't want to go from lane to lane. That's going to be the entire story, I think, for Liquid. The Ember split pushing, the Necro connecting, Bloodseeker is also pretty good at connecting.
Yeah, I mean, like the Broodmother carry actually enables the AoE Visage, right, really well.
It's true.
So we might see him once again go through the gate, and then you're gonna have Darkseer double shelling with Tiny and like Visage coming in through the gate into this Bloodseeker. I don't know. You need to be careful, right?
Can you leave your Broodmother alone against a Necro though?
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's more about like it's not like Broodmother's gonna be free farming with Necro alone. It's more like he will catch up eventually, right? And then he'll be happy that the other lanes are getting pressured.
I mean, I think Liquid's been outsmarted here a little bit with this draft, but I also think it's like a little bit potentially too wonky even for Tundra.
Yeah, maybe there's too many. Yeah, I think so potentially that there's too many weird things going on. But if they get their levels and items, then yeah, I feel like there's a lot of random stuff you need to deal with, right? You need to deal with Meepo and Broodmother carry. There's like Darkseid, there's also Visage, you know, there's like a lot of stuff that you actually have to kill, you know, and work around as Liquid.
I mean, I do feel like the early game, it's going to be like the Bloodseeker and the Necrophos sitting in a lane. It won't be that easy for Tundra to actually kick them out of the lane, so it's going to be depending on how well the first couple of minutes go. That will tell the story of the later part of the game.
Well, let's start that story right now. Let's get into game number 2 with Cap and Fogged.
Now, it is technically his second game ever on Meepo, but I want to go back and I'm going to just say this was his first professional appearance on Meepo. This goes all the way back to 2018 when he played on the old Team Spirits. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, was this before Penta?
This was 9 playing with Skeeter on that old roster.
Yeah.
And that, I'm going to say, was his first professional appearance on Meepo. This man has played it a few times, only 4 times technically in his career.
That's a throwback. The Penta, that's like
throwback.
Penta 9 Skeeter.
Yeah.
Penta Skeeter as well too. Then I think afterwards, yeah, they became Spirit. Okay, that's cool. Cap, I gotta be honest with you. This is some of the most disgusting drafts from both sides. I don't think I've ever seen so much disgust in one game. We have Meepos all over the place. We have Illusions all over the place. Familiars, Spiders, Necrophos being a disgusting hero. Pugna, I don't know. Like usually it's like these Venom Manchers, these PLs and stuff like that. I think this might be the most disgusting game I'll ever cast in terms of crap on the ground. Tons of summons and everything like that.
It's a whole lot of crap versus a whole lot of green.
Yeah.
And we're going to see which one ends up being the better for it here, as we're going to have our bounty runes, maybe some early first blood. We'll see.
I thought you'd say this is a lot of green, which we'll see which one reigns supreme. I thought you were going to give me a nice little... It's all right. Though.
Okay, so we got a lot of mechanics to talk about, Yanni.
Oh, Jesus.
You're the guy who tests all of these mechanics out.
Not the Meepo one. Don't ask it. Don't ask it, Cap.
I'm not gonna ask it, but I know you have some mechanic interactions you got in your back pocket, so hit me.
In this one, there's definitely some weird ones. I don't really know how this Meepo works in particular versus the Necrophos thing, of course, where you're able to pull maybe during, you know, you were kind of asking me with the Reaper Scythe, if he's able to kind of like disengage and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Mega Meepo, pull that Meepo into the Mega Meepo, get him out of the Reaper Scythe.
The one thing I do know is Reaper Scythe is very effective versus the Mega Meepo.
Yeah.
That is one thing I definitely have seen is after you do chump into that Mega Meepo, if Necro is alive throughout the fights, you just can get a big Reaper Scythe onto him as the fight continues. So.
What about Thirst? When you dig as a Meepo, are you out of the map entirely? Does Thirst no longer count towards that Meepo that's hidden away?
Oh, God.
We're going to have to wait.
The thing is that you're untargetable, but I think you still get the movement speed bonus. Oh,
and the weird part is you won't be able to tell right away because there's a 4-second linger time on Thirst too. So
we're going to learn.
It's going to be weird. Is the Bloodseeker going to be amped up by Meepos being low? That happens, right? But at the same time, is the Mega Meepo going to basically rectify all of that extra Thirst? Is the Dig going to be able to offset that Thirst as well? There are going to be a lot of interesting interactions that we just haven't seen before.
If we get a good game. If the game ends up being even, because I think the panel did end with it on the end there, which something that could maybe happen is Tundra's gone for some wonky stuff. Could they have gone a little bit too wonky?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Liquid's lineup does seem to have like a lot. They have multiple heals with the Necrophos. You've got some saves with a Bloodseeker who takes advantage of it. Like, I could see Liquid's lineup kind of coming together team fight-wise and just kind of rolling over Tundra.
Yeah.
Or I could see Tundra's like individual matchups of like Broodmother and Meepo, like maybe they win the lane and then they just kind of roll with the game.
We'll have to see which one it is. I mean, Nisha, he had a pretty weird game last game, very disconnected, it felt like, from his team, kind of causing them to get some weird fights and stuff like that. At least from this laning phase right now, no mercy from him. 14-6. I believe he's only missed maybe even just one last hit so far versus 9.
That is a very nice start there, and it seems like Mickey's doing all right for himself against the Darkseer, which you would kind of expect since he does have a sustain option, and he also has an Undying in his lane. Vacuum back in with the Blood Right. Mickey's going to need to get some CS here. Avalanche covers him nicely, and they do manage to get the TP away, though Mickey, all that damage being done, is going to start being healed, so always a problem for the Starks here in this matchup.
Yeah, that's the one issue, is that Liquid kind of just drafted themselves more of a normal kind of lineup, and good lanes in particular to answer with Tundra. Because Tundra, they picked his Darks here, but the Bloodseeker, he loves to lane versus this, as we've seen multiple times, being picked into it, being picked as an answer. I've been checking chat, because you know there's usually that one guy in these chats, especially with Meepos, they just know exactly.
These guys
don't know
that this interacts with this. Yeah, there's always that one guy.
Always that one guy, but nobody.
Where's
said,
the Meepos spammer?
Yeah, where's the big brain guy? We're not gonna get it, not just yet, but either way. Yeah, 9. He's gonna have to go back to base a little bit here with one of the Meepos. Has to be careful how much he keeps it low there from Nisha, because that's just gonna make Mika have that really, really good lane, which he's already having.
Yeah, it seems like Liquid across the board is doing pretty well for themselves. At least the Broodmother's doing getting some okay CS as well. And 9 now has his extra Meepo, so this will start getting things a little bit cruising for Tundra. And Skeeter dies! Oh dear, we go back to top lane and boom, he's instantly dead. First blood for Zai.
I mean, none of these lanes literally look easy for Tundra. Top is a difficult lane playing versus a Pugna Necrophos. Necro is a lane dominator, and Tundra, they did opt to go for Visage, you know, as this 5 position. Aui's the only one playing it, and there's a reason for that. It's not the strongest laner by any means.
Yeah, especially when you don't have like a clear way to be able to like, you kind of need your other hero, and like with the offlane Visage, right? You want your forward position that can put damage on the hero, and then you combo and you throw any more damage on him. The Broodmother's just not going to do that against double ranged heroes.
No, they're double ranged heroes, multiple sustains as well too. This is going to be some incredible amount of healing that's going to come out. I haven't actually gotten to see Pugna Necro on the same team together since Pugna was changed with this insane amount of healing too.
Oh yeah,
this could be.
Oh, that was a little unfortunate there. Nice, like, opportunity there. The Avalanche vacuum back in, but unfortunately both Ion Shells went to Mika instead of sticking onto Insania. It could have been a lot more damage onto the 5 position, who has been really annoying them in this matchup. They're going to try and get a pull.
Mika is getting every single one of these last hits under the tower. He's pretty much back up to, like, almost full HP here. 9, he's getting stacks. He's being efficient here with the Meepo, but yeah, continues to keep them low. Mika's thriving off of that 400 move speed without boots down here.
And the Necrophos is going to do the same.
Same
right?
thing.
He's like constant lane dominator and harasser that brings heroes low. The only hope is that Skeeter is somehow able to keep himself up with the lifesteal, but that just seems unlikely with, again, as a Visage as his lane partner.
Okay, there's one guy that says the Mega Meepo can pull them out of Reaper's Side. Well, I have to call him out.
I thought it could.
I thought so too, but we haven't seen it, so I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen
Snares, blood grenades, so a heavy rotation out from Liquid, but a good interception by Snaking, which is likely to get the Boxy kill.
Boxy!
Nisha! Oh, Boxy does die. Nisha is going to chase after Snaking. A little bit surprised that Nisha didn't take the tower hits, but, you know, better to win the lane. He still gets a trade-off of kills here, and the Meepo's going to be very sad.
Heavy tower damage, and it's around Power Rune too, so Nisha, he's going to be able to get that one too. Nisha's going treads. A bit of a different approach here also from these Ember Spirits that we tend to see. Just stat items to be able to fight into this Meepo.
Yeah, that's... Again, just like a heavy emphasis on being able to win early, right?
Yeah.
Like, who cares if they do all this nasty stuff to you if you just have like a 10k gold lead by 20 minutes?
Yeah, you can just like group up and steamroll together, especially with something rallied around like a Necrophos. And definitely a fantastic start here for Liquid with a more normal looking draft. Tundra, see if they'll be able to bring stuff back into this one, because these lanes are quite a stomp here, really.
Oh yeah, that's another interaction. And Undying gets to play against Meepo. I forgot about that. He's going to be getting tons of decay stacks.
I think you only get it from one, right?
Oh yeah, you do
only get it from the main, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I'm an Undying player. That one I think I do know. And I'm going to be wrong about it, probably.
No,
I'm pretty sure.
He just hit the decay. Yeah. He only had once.
I'm pretty sure about that one. Bottom, do they have enough?
Big kill if they can get it. Mickey, a little bit. Oh god, the Lotus might have just saved him, but no, gets run down by the Surge, and 9 was here just in case. So finally, Tundra get a little something going for them in a laning phase. It's been pretty awkward. Somehow Zai got a little bit low. Of course, he will very quickly heal himself up.
He's got healing Lotus. He should be all right up here to be able to keep this push going here. I really think that the X factor for Tundra, for them to try to fix the kind of disaster rate in these lanes, it feels like it's gonna be snaking, to be honest with you. I think he has a lot of work to be able to make the moves around to kind of reestablish.
Come on, Zai, like let him have a single CS. He's just a 5 position Visage. Okay, maybe he's the one in trouble here. Snaking comes in, big nukes damage, but Snaking actually went for the toss on Boxy into Zai instead. Decrep, but a big nuke.
Skitter.
Is he in range to be able to get the final bit of damage? He is not. Blood grenade gets thrown out to slow him down.
Nisha's here.
Peter out of there, but Nisha will clean up. He's going to be able to get both of these kills. Well, the Reaper's Scythe will ensure AEY, but he's going to chase down Snaking next.
And the approach by Nisha this game, the treads into just max Flame Guard. Meepo doesn't do anything to Flame Guard. Pure damage, of course, now on the poof. So, I think every game I just see like max Sleight of Fist, so it's refreshing to see that he does deviate a little bit, not on top of just his item build.
I'll jump away, but the Power Rune was top. Nisha with the double damage. Ooh, man.
He's big. An Ember Spirit that does get the ball rolling like this versus side lanes and stuff that start to struggle. Yes, it's not the max Sleight of Fist. I think that maybe could be now a little bit lucky for the side of Tundra that he doesn't have that with DD, but this Ember, he's going to really rip these heroes to shreds with this type of advantage.
And I love when they do stuff like this.
Yeah,
pulls the creep wave off into the neutrals to get the extra farm.
They're both doing it, really. Nisha steals a little bit of the stacks there as Zai also maximizes. First Reaper Scythe very early in the game. Got the Wisdom Runes I actually didn't get to see because there was a little bit of a fight. 1 for 1.
Yeah, 1 for 1.
Okay. Definitely important, at least for Tundra, to get those, especially with these lanes are quite devastating already at this point.
Nisha playing aggressively up there. If he fails to find a hero, then he can at least get the boundary rune secured. That's coming up here in a second. Meanwhile, Mickey, no need to really show in lane.
They're already hunting. They want the spider. Skeeter, incredibly fragile.
Yeah, don't let him back into the game if you can help it. Doesn't even try and go through the chains, though. That deep in the trees, it's hard.
They're keeping Skeeter level 5, still not 6, so he can't actually go to the jungle and farm effectively just yet. And back to mid.
Playing an under-leveled Visage is such suffering. That hero is so squishy.
Playing a lot of heroes when an Ember starts getting the ball rolling like this, it can be very scary. This is going to be incredibly fast Maelstrom for him.
Somebody asked me what one thing I wanted to change in Dota right now, and I said the suffering that is losing the early game as a support and not being able to get your 6.
They might be able to get Nisha here.
If Nisha jumps away to the Remnant, he's going to be okay. Now the Reaper Scythe is going to cut down the Meepo. Mickey using the Thirst, thinking about chasing after 33, as he should. That's a freebie. Nothing Sneyking can do to stop it. In fact, are they going to run down both of these supports? Yeah, it looks like it. Nisha's going to keep going underneath the tower, Slight to try and dodge, and gets 4 kills for that. What a turn.
What a turn, and look at the blessing there for Nisha as well.
Oh my god!
Regen rune to boot, 10-3.
Liquid. It's worse and worse.
I mean, they're kind of cruising this one. This early game, it's tough to recover with these type of heroes. For Tundra, you're about kind of snowballing. Definitely with these. Liquid setting the pace here, taking mid tower as well too. Zai, Boots of Travel, they're going to be incredibly active.
Man, if they only had a little bit more lockdown.
So close, but not quite there.
What's Nine's build at right now?
He's almost got Atos.
Okay, so if the lane had gone better, he had the Rod of Atos, then they would kill the Ember there. It goes to show the importance of the laning phase, right? Could be a very different story here as we approach the 11-minute marker. If only the lanes go a little bit better for you.
Yeah, I don't have a big sample size for these Meepos or anything, but it still does a lot of times feel like it can be a bit of like that big snowballing hero. If you do start to fall behind, you might never be able to recover versus a lineup like this that's going to group pressure with global threat with his bots on Necro that we know that Zai likes to do.
Tundra want to try and get their first tower of the game. Sneyking, though, is going to be caught for it. Surged away with a Rupture on him.
Super dead. Aoi is still level 4.
I'm telling you, man.
This is sad.
Somebody help out these supports. There's no way back into it, man. These Wisdom Runes at 7 minute don't do enough for you.
No, can't.
All right, Sadie's barreling up into the triangle. Hey.
Oh, he's just actually walking at 9. They've got Reaper.
Yeah, they're going to drop it. It's not going to be enough to get the kill by itself, but the Tombstone zombies are mounting up, and Sania is going to chase after him. Heartstopper Aura also going to work, but a nice pullback there with a vacuum. Not enough to get the kill on Insania, though.
Can they even kill him?
Not quite enough. The surge to run him down. 33 commits and gets the kill, but he has to give up his own life for it, as there's no way that TP works, because Mickey, he's completed a Maelstrom already.
It's always just like 3 or 4 or 5 Liquid heroes, it feels like, and then Nisha's already set up her top 2 for Skeeter, the Boots of Travel. Oh my god, Skeeter's... he's just gone!
Crap!
What?
All of that Maelstrom damage, the Sleight of Fist damage.
Wow. How many procs did he get?
Did he get 2 different procs? There's like
not a lot.
There is an inherent cooldown on Maelstrom, but I don't know how long it is.
Yeah, either way, Skeeter definitely very fragile, but I didn't think he died that quick.
Yeah.
Holy crap! 8K lead, 12 minutes in. This has to be one of the big ones. Let's look at it again. Oh my lord. Whew. All right. Well, Aoi got to have fun in the first game at the least as an Enchantress. This one, Doesn't look like it's going to get much better.
Yeah, he also got to have fun in his first Visage game. But, you know, one thing to stop his familiar shenanigans, just don't let him get level 6.
Yeah, true. No Visage shenanigans, and even when he gets them, I think there could be these, like, one-shots that come out, even if you're not near him from these Sleight of Fists, because it's a support Visage with level 1 Gravekeepers. 9 shows his face for a second in the mid lane.
Oh, man, snaking. Nice toss away. But if Zai gets in range with the slow, final nuke.
He's dead.
Oh, it was enough.
Was that a base? I guess he just crumbled. Never mind, it was just rocks. Wow, Tundra can't slow the pace of the game down. Liquid just accelerating too much here.
Yeah.
And look at Nisha. You know what? He's like, I'm versus Meepo. I'm going Battle Fury. The extra solution versus this, even versus the spiders too. He says summons, I thrive off of them. Mm-hmm. All right, cool.
Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy. I mean, you're going to have Darkseer illusions, you're going to have Visage familiars. There's so much to proc off of. Nice vacuum up into the high ground, but Zai has a solution to that one. He's got a Boots of Travel and almost TPs in time to be able to hit him with it.
And look at the, Insania's going to take the Wisdom Rune. Okay, Aoi found 6, though. He got it in the mid lane, but on top of the gold being...
Oh, this is a big pick-off. Mid-game by himself here, and Zai had already used his Boots of Travel, so... Well,
nice
couldn't get here fast enough. That damage was pretty overwhelming.
Can the Knight get out? He left it a Meepo here.
He did. See if Nisha lands the chains. He does. And they're going to throw all the damage at him. Covered by the familiars, though. It may have taken a while, but Curtis is now ready to go with his familiar shenanigans.
Rachel, can he get away? Insania can't quite chase out. All right. A small bump back for Tundra, but very, very small getting this kill on the Bloodseeker.
And you could see Liquid showing no sign of slowing down after that pickoff.
They know that they have their bounty or their Wisdom Rune available too. They're going to go claim that one over there. I was hoping to see Zai queuing up the Boots of Travel too, but of course they were nerfed after he literally did that one game.
Yeah.
That literal one game that he did is like the 0-8 Necrophos and then made it come back when the patch first did. He's just going to go for his own items, tank up here, and he is very, very tanky.
This Necrophos does get really out of control. If you get to like the Sanj Kaya and then you get like the shard pickup and stuff, this hero has the mobility and survivability that really is just insurmountable at some point.
And it might not be a Storm or a Leshrac or something like that that you can pump into, but I haven't seen the Necropugna, but that also sounds quite disgusting as well too.
Skeeter's gonna run into the Necro here. No disables available though.
I mean, Skeeter needs to just try to farm. Like he needs Nullifier, it feels like, before he's able to really do much of anything in this game. So it's like BKB Nullifier timing or something for the Broodmother when they're at this type of deficit. So Tundra kind of about splitting up the map and trying to get some farm here for this next timing at the least. 9, probably his Mega Meepo is the bigger one than Skeeter's.
They're drawing Liquid around the map. They're getting some damage on mid. They force Zai to be able to TP bottom.
And look at AOI. I mean, AOI is starting to send his birds into positions to do the owie, I call it, where he cuts the creep waves. But Boxy, he's on the hunt.
Yeah, he doesn't want to let this one happen for free.
Because this is where he kind of abused it. He did it when he was playing Radiant the last time in cutting waves, but he's looking for a similar kind of play.
Yeah, he was also up against a lot more melee heroes than this time around. And probably less bots as well, as Snake King's going to be slowed down by the Tombstone. It's been a while since we've got a Reaper Scythe kill, so let's get our third charge of the game.
I thought you were calling them bots. I was like, what did you just... Yeah, that is a bit rude there, a bit savage by you, but I got it. Boots of Travel, yeah.
Yeah.
He'll get the one range creep. I mean, he did get one of the birds over there, so he is going to try to be a bit annoying here. But nowhere near the realms of what he was able to do the last time just yet. Tundra going to do Tundra things to try to get back in this one after that immense lead that Liquid was able to build up after laning phase. But this Ember Spirit has just such an explosive game.
Yeah, and even if you do, like, let's say you're Tundra, you draw the game out, do you feel confident about their late game? Because the way that particularly Nisha built the Battle Fury, I'm a little bit concerned that if Tundra gets there, they still may not be strong enough.
No, I agree. I think this is really clever by Nisha. He's just like, my Bloodseeker is farming, but I'm super farming. I'm going to be a complete secondary right-clicking core as well in this game. I mean, there's definitely situations where if Skeeter's not careful, this cleave could just catch him off guard.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of summons in these fights coming out from Tundra. 9, does he have it done? Mega Meepo, I believe in 40 gold.
Okay. Well, it won't be out in time for this tier 1 tower push, it looks like. Which Zai, they don't have the Reaper Scythe, but they do have the chains to hold him in. 33 turns around with a vacuum, does what he can, but
Much damage.
yeah, Liquid laid out a trap for him because they want to take this tier 1. We'll see if they want to take the tier 2 as well, but time to start limiting control of these Ancients that Tundra have.
I wouldn't blame even if Zai now just kind of hangs on to this Reaper Scythe until he sees the Mega Meepo.
Yeah.
He's always, it really does. It kills him so fast. If you get it onto him after, of course. Look at these quick movements. Liquid continue to play active around the map. Don't let Tundra do these things.
Yeah, take a tier 1, instantly be back up to
Oh,
top
hey,
lane.
there it is.
Got him with the Reaper Scythe to stop the roll away. Good kill on the Meepo.
Worth it. Doesn't get the stack or whatever. It's gonna set him up for a Roshan. He's got the Undying already in position up here. It's a freebie. Fast. So fast that they set up on the map. Showed bottom for a second and immediately they're top already hunting 9.
I like how Tundra is immediately, though, just already pushing out the side. They know what it means. It's like, okay, Roshan is forfeit, push out the lanes as much as possible. Snaking's deep on the other side of the map.
Just try to get anything that you can at this point, because fighting into Liquid is just impossible until you feel like you've got a big item timing for Brass or 3 cores, but struggling to see what that real big item timing for the team fight is going to be in particular.
Nice play by Snaking, putting his illusion on the portal, so he'll see the rotation post Roshan. Full out Mjolnir next for Mickey.
And let's see if maybe it's going to be difficult versus the tanky cores, but the Wombo combo, Tundra does have a decent one. Nisha.
There's that Rod of Atos chaining the ensnares here. That's going to feel really good, taking away this Aegis. I don't know if they can get him a second time, though. Zai showed up with his bots, so that's going to push back Tundra. But still, a great pickoff. Ooh, the chains actually somehow landing onto Snaking, despite all those other options there.
Watch the cleave.
Holding them down. This is getting a little sticky here for Liquid. They're going to be pulled back in with a vacuum. Can the AoE of Tundra hold them in place? Nine's going to start doing it what he can with vacuum out. They're going to have to leave Boxy behind.
He jumped
into that wall. Once again, Nisha perhaps a little bit overzealous and gets himself killed as a result.
Oh, Nisha, he jumped in. That was his last remnant. Someone must have made the call, like, to go or something there, but he jumps in and just feeds his life.
Flinged one of his meatballs out there, which I'm glad to see he's already using that ability. I feel like it was one of the underutilized ones whenever I see this Mega Meepo.
Yeah, Parker was really good with it when I saw it, but
yeah,
I haven't gotten to see too much of these meatballs. All right, Tundra striking back here. This Atos, the Mega Meepo, finds quite a big one here, and Sania maybe also going down.
Yeah, you got to be careful of this catch with the Atos Meepo. Because he just brings this overwhelming presence to the fight. You got to be careful of the catch that follows it up.
I mean, especially if you... Nisha kind of delivered himself on a silver platter, to be honest.
Yeah,
he reset away and then just literally jumped back and gave this Meepo
Jumps to the other side. 9. His poof is on cooldown for this Meepo, and he can't stop a BKB. Bloodseeker now 33 is showing up, immediately going to be Reapered just to hold him in place. Perhaps a little early from Zai.
They'll get
and now
Mickey.
they're going to get punished. Mickey is going to die for it. 33 who ran back in to help ensure this kill will die for it. Yes, Zai is getting a lot of regen out of this, but they've got a lot of heroes here to try and burst him down, and they will manage to get it. Tundra are finding openings in a Liquid domination that should have been clean. But now, no longer is, as Nisha once again barreling into Tundra, will be able to bounce back this time successfully.
Who got the last hit there? Was it Skitter? He did. So he actually got both of them there. Probably the most important hero to get these kills, so it's going to enable his timing a little bit there. Liquid slipping up a little bit. Tundra punishing with the numbers. They have good wombo combo. That's the one thing. This vacuum tiny stun, this is something they did the other day too, even with the Visage. If they can have like the resummon vacuum kind of combos there, that could kind of also be the comeback here.
Yeah.
Liquid.
Keep them underneath the wall, just constantly harry them with whatever familiars and gunk you have to throw at them.
Should be still pretty okay, at least on Nisha, but he's got to be a little more careful with these remnants. He's going a bit too deep. Okay, he'll get a dispel. I was looking and I'm like, he's really pushing the limits a little bit here. It was giving me like inklings of that first game on his Storm jumping in.
Yeah, me too. But he opts for the Manta.
Like
Plus, a lot of these situations, we haven't had the full squad of Liquid in this situation.
Sure.
And now we see Boxy has a Guardian Greaves. So there's going to be some serious team fight put together if Liquid can be all 5-man, but that's what Tundra's doing well, right? They're forcing Liquid apart.
Yeah, splitting them up, getting good catches with all this. I mean, they do have great heroes to be able to force them. We're probably going to see the familiars at some point soon. Aui's almost 12. The level 2 familiars are easier to go for that kind of creep cutting that he does like to do.
Right.
They have Brood Mother, who's going to keep those lanes pushed naturally. Same thing for Darkseer, Ion Shell. Liquid, going to group up here a little bit. Arcane Rune on Nisha.
Tundra smoke is coming out.
Okay.
Behind Snaking.
There's the dig available now also, too.
That could be pretty big.
We'll have to see the interaction, too, now. That's on
yeah.
How does the thirst and everything work? I mean, if I'll even be able to calculate it in time in these fights, but... And yep, look at the bottom lane.
Oh, yeah.
The birds, it's happening.
There's Aghanim Scepter on Bloodseeker, too. That is also going to be kind of a menace against Meepo.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
A lot of things to factor in here. Oh, yeah, look at Owie. All right, well, this is what's going to happen when you're playing versus his Visage. I can't believe I'm seeing it again. I casted it the other day. Zai, looped up with Mickey. Set up around top. They're finding the wrap. 9. It's the Mega
Meepo goes out. They stop the TP. They've got nothing. The change actually was available, and now Zai can throw out that Reaper Scythe. Tons and tons of damage behind it.
Wish I could see the damage numbers for it.
Yeah.
Well, he was like 3,000 something HP or something, but
one of these times we're going to see like a 9,000 HP Mega Meepo get Reaper Scythe for 1 billion damage.
Definitely a possibility. Skitter been found out here for a second, but nah, Nisha not going to get him. An Arcane Rune thing coming into play there. I think the TP actually finishes if he doesn't have that. I think the chains came back.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah, that actually is pretty important.
Yep. And they will look down. Look for these familiars. That's 1. And that's the
familiars down.
Alrighty. So I bought a Blink Dagger maybe just to hunt them.
Yeah, between the Blink Dagger and the Shard, he's going to be able to jump on the familiars pretty quickly, but also in general, just jump in the middle of the team fight. His AoE is going to be pretty potent.
I love the Shard, actually. So it's really cool now. Yeah, it's really interesting, like the potential of dodging and stuff like that. I feel like I've seen players try to dodge like glimpse with it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's got some cool stuff. Hidden tech. Don't ask me about all the mechanics of that one either, please.
Okay. So fucked. How does it? 22-9, a 10,000 net worth lead for Team Liquid. But a game that honestly, like, I thought was going to be over.
I thought so too.
10 minutes, but Tundra has done a really good job of stalling it out and giving themselves a chance.
It is the Tundra special, of course, here, but with the deficit that it was, I mean, how he hit 6 so late. Liquid looking for Skitter here.
Skitter with his BKB and Lincolns. So much to try and protect himself against the assaults of Liquid.
Very mostly defensive style build, though. BKB Lincolns. I mean, you still thrive from that because you're a universal hero, of course.
Sure.
Not having the route to be able to go for this like nullifier just yet. They'll see the Ember. Do they have enough?
Trying to burst him down with the wall. They got him. Big kill. And Liquid, now that Nisha's dead already, no way they can start a fight. But Mickey may be caught by, vacuum back in, forced to use his BKB. That's going to hurt. There is, I guess, the mid-tower as far as objectives for Tundra to take. That's something small, but...
That's just split up, probably, right? Yeah. With the way that they have been playing. Maybe look to just split the map here and just get as much as possible out of here. Maybe Skater can actually commit for it.
Yeah, he's got a ton of spiders, actually, so... But Zai... He doesn't want to risk his life, understandably so. You don't want to let this ball start rolling from Tundra.
No, Snay is constantly on the prowl here looking for these tossbacks, and he's found a couple of really big ones, especially those, 2 kind of ones onto Nisha there. 8-2 and 8, Nisha having such a flashy game, but now getting very close to get caught up there with that Broodmother.
That flashiness is a double-edged sword. We saw it in game 1, that's for certain. Mickey, they had a scan on him here.
Ooh, there's Meepos up
the
here.
Other side, but yeah, there's Meepos up there as well.
Does he see him?
Can the rest of it's going to be a while until the full team could get up here, so he's not going to try and catch Mickey.
How long on the Roche? Let's see. It's about 8 seconds till we find out. But making their way down up toward the top lane to set up for it. Mickey almost has the Aghanims done for this next team fight also.
Radiant's bottom tower is
That's going to be pretty massive for his survivability. If both him and Zai are able to just kind of waddle into a team fight against the Meepo, not go down easily, then it'll make Nisha's game a lot easier.
Yeah, I feel like for Tundra, the overall 5v5 team fights are still going to be quite complicated, but their pick-off potential is there. If they can get these tossbacks, resets, that's where they can kind of thrive in these fights. Snay, so Key might just get caught this time around, though.
Yeah, I mean, you identified Snay as probably the key member here of Tundra to be able to turn this game around. So while that pick-off is just a 4 position, it's a very important 4 position to die. Oh, look, more familiars.
Immediately split up. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even looking at bottom anymore because I love Owie, but this is kind of triggering me a little bit.
It's just going to be constantly. And they're gonna lose their tier 2 eventually. You're gonna take that outpost. Next thing you know, you're gonna be taking tier 3 damage.
I can't wait until I see people. Oh, actually, we'll have to wait for that. Mid 9 might be getting set up on here. Boxy, he wants him.
Slowed him down with the Decrepify and the hits from the Undying Flesh Golem. Does manage to poof himself away in time.
Oh, maybe even Zai, he's on the prowl. Whoop. To the left side, 9. It seems like they actually know where he is.
Yeah, they've kind of triangulated, I think, in part where that one was going. The Mega Meepo trying to protect himself, poofing away, but again, the Reaper Scythe makes this so hard to play for the Meepo.
They hunted him down. I mean, that was kind of 2 supports. That was actually Boxy and Insania that set that one up for Zai to come in. And yeah, I was saying, I'm pretty sure we're going to see people with these Visage Familiars in pubs doing this, and they just feed Visage Familiars relentlessly.
Oh, yeah. It's 100 gold a pop.
You got to be Owie to do this.
It also means you have to play support Visage.
That's true.
Nobody wants. Nobody wants that. Everybody just like a real quick PSA. Don't pick it. Your core is going to hate you.
I think in most situations that might cause an auto DC from your carry player if he's playing with a 5 Visage. Roche, the next ticker. 10 seconds till Meepo's back up. Liquid can kill this one pretty quick. Flesh Golem actually on cooldown, same with Tombstone, but they have more than enough up here at the numbers.
So, Tundra will get out on the map as much as possible, as they undoubtedly know this is happening. Soon a Blink Dagger for Mickey. So they're going to have tons and tons of jump.
Very strong in the fights. Skeeter almost has his aggressive item. He's got the Nullifier. He's been farming the entire game to get to this point, so maybe he can actually focus fire targets, focus onto Zai, or focus onto this Pugna in particular.
Yeah, that's going to suck if he gets this Nullifier, and then the first fight, he goes on Zai, and Zai's got a cheese.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, guys, we can finally burst him down, and then, you know, just eats a cheese when he's at 500 health.
No, absolutely. But it is, you know, he needs this, right? Like, he really, really does.
And they've got a scythe now for 33, so a lot of items coming in for Tundra.
I think for team fight, the Wombo combo has to be pretty much perfect from Tundra to win a straight up team fight. But besides that, the tossbacks, I'm just still going to be looking at snaking to kind of maybe trickle them back into this one. Liquid, though, with Aegis Cheese.
And you've got Harpoon to work off that tossback as well, so when you do reposition someone, you can get them even further back. Skater's working towards that.
Yeah, 1,300 away from it. I was like, oh, wow, he's got that done, too? Damn.
Oh, Daedalus. Oh, mama.
I want to see a big cleave. I really do.
Yeah.
I want to see everything kind of stacked up. Spiders, walls, familiars, meepos. It'll be pretty massive. Blink will get sniped, snaking. Reveals his positioning there for him.
That is such the dangerous part, because you have all these melee heroes and all the gunk that we've talked about, but you cannot clump.
No.
You want to focus down this Bloodseeker or this Necrophos who requires, you know, just direct fire to bring them down, but you can't actually clump, otherwise you're going to take an infinity amount of damage.
Yeah, an actual infinity. Right, the Heartstop Aura, the cleaves, every little thing being thrown in. I want to see also the Blood Rage with some cleaves too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even more potential of damage. A heart now for Zai, top of net worth. Tundra.
It seems like Liquid are not too worried about late game.
Nah, they're just continuing to just get that farm. I think because of the build that Nisha went for, right? Like, yeah, he's died the 2 times, but he still is getting this insane scaling. This is not your usual, just like Spellcaster Ember. This is a right-clicking Ember too.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Can we take a look at the CS numbers real quickly, just for my own
They're high.
curiosity of all these
Very
spiders dying? Yeah, it's a lot, mostly for the Ember.
Yeah. I mean, across the board, it's actually surprising that... I say it's surprising, but then I'm like, never mind. I'm like, it's surprising that 9 has so little CS, but then I'm like, never mind. There's so much people on the side of Tundra that always wants to take the farm, so someone's going to suffer out of it.
1,300 gold given away. I remember there was a time with Dota 2 casting where you had no idea how much gold was given up from all of these, like, back then, Lycan was a big one. How many wolves he just throws down lane.
We'd have to just totally guess. We'd be like, I think 5 bears, and it'd be like maybe 1. Owie continues to do Owie things. Zai continues to hunt
He
Owie
cuts
birds.
away while the spiders take the building. That is so dirty, man.
Liquid, they want to force him back. And they will be able to here. The tossback plays is something you always got to watch out here for the pushes, Liquid. Stay.
Who are you going to go for with this? Looks like Nullifier vacuum in, okay. But at the same time, Nisha's in pretty deep here. They target him, but they couldn't quite finish him off. Mickey's now going to start backing away, and they have the heals from Boxy to rely upon. That's why Tundra can't let him go so easily. Nullifier catching Mickey, and they bring him down. Big kill to get, but Zai is going to be able to get the return with the Reaper's Scythe bringing down the Meepo. Zai's isn't going to stop that damage, and yeah, Zai's going with that regen. He's got a heart, he's got all this kill regen, he's working with it, but Nisha's the one low. He does still have that Aegis to jump away with the Remnant. Remnant gets him out, and big heal from the Soul Rip. Zai still trying to play with Nisha here, not overextending, backing away bit by bit. Because they no longer have that Reaper's Scythe, it's a lot easier for 9 to play around this dig.
He dodged the Soul Assumption. He actually survives. Aegis is still there.
Very close. That Aegis is going to expire soon, but at some point in time, they're going to be able to catch him, and this is going to be the time. But look at that Meepo so low. Zai eats the cheese, staying alive, but the side device going to make sure no more heals, and an instant net comes out. Pops Samantha. There goes the Slight, bouncing around for so long, but an instant toss up from Snake King catches him on the way down.
Nice buyback from 9 there. A good fight from Tundra, and it starts a little awkward. Snake actually blinked and tossed his own visage to start the fight, by the way. Literally completely whiffing the initial engagement, but they end up persisting with the chase. Great buyback, really.
Yeah, and it goes to show, like, once you... That is the problem. That is sort of like a one-time thing. The Reaper's Scythe, use it on that Meepo, he's gone. The buyback was effective because you didn't have the Reaper's Scythe. What are you going to do next time Liquid runs at you on the high ground?
A little bit maybe of, over-aggressive there again, coming up from Liquid. It gets punished. I don't know if they expected 9 to be able to be holding the buyback there in particular. Completely catches them off guard, it seems like.
Yeah, had a big part. Early death on Mickey, the one person who didn't have a second life for himself. No Aegis, no cheese.
They're kind of doing it now. This is pretty crazy, Tundra. At such a deficit in this game, at least from the gold, they brought this thing, everything almost completely back to even.
Yeah, only a 4K net worth. That is nothing at this point in the game.
Huge.
Look at that. The win probability actually in the favor of Tundra now.
There is still, though, the situation where there's no buyback on 9, right? So he could just get picked, and then they have this Meepo gone for a very, very long time. But
particularly when you have such great single target spells like Rupture and Reaper's Scythe, it's very easy to get a kill that you really, really want.
I think this is where 9 maybe just plays on the safer spots, right? Just play very close to your base. Let your other heroes play on those more aggressive positions. Let them tank that gank so you can get this buyback back up.
And what does Liquid do now? Do they try and, go back to controlling the map, get your net worth lead back again, wait for Roshan, but then you're not taking advantage of that buyback timer?
I don't know. I think you probably still want to look to apply some pressure here.
Nisha will get himself a Ag Shard off the Tormentor.
The recovery from Skeeter is phenomenal. He is top net worth.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did he get a lot of the
he
kills
got
on
a lot
that
of them.
fight? Is that what happened?
I think he got most throughout, most of these engagements. He's in earlier, because he got the monster kill streak from earlier, and then he got one of the other big kill streaks from the earlier engagements too. So he's done an incredible job of this recovery here. Of course, with the backup of his team doing all this kind of space thing, but
sure.
It's pretty huge. Skeeter, he's getting close to critical mass here. He still doesn't even have a shard. I actually think this shard is insanely potent.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It just gets stronger and stronger as the game progresses.
Yeah, the damage just amps up over time. It's crazy that they made it go from flat damage to percentage like that.
And he became... Well, she became Universal, and then Universal got buffed as well, too. So it's like a triple kind of buff for him.
And then on top of that, then you have that 25 talent, which is damage on damage on damage amps.
And he's okay. He's going to be going Refresher. So, so many activatable items. I actually don't really blame him for it.